Dear parents, have you ever looked at your children and wondered how they could be so different, even though they grew up in the same home, with the same parents? One child is responsible and driven. Another is easygoing or rebellious. Another seems dependent, charming, or always asking for help. This often leads parents to ask, did I do something wrong, or am I treating them differently? Today, I want to explore one powerful lens that helps us understand these differences. Birth order, not to label children, not to put them into boxes, but to help us better understand how children see themselves, their siblings, and their place in the family. So, why does birth order matter? Well, children are constantly forming beliefs about who they are and how they belong. They do this by observing their environment and especially by comparing themselves to their siblings. Very early on, children start asking questions like, how do I matter here? What makes me special? And what do I need to do to belong? When a child sees a sibling doing really well in one area, they might unconsciously decide they need to take a different path in order to feel valuable. Common responses include competing to be better, choosing a completely different strength, rebelling, or just giving up, believing they can't win. These aren't conscious decisions. They are survival strategies shaped by how a child interprets family life. You see, every family is like a small stage, and children don't just grow up, they take on roles. If one child becomes the responsible one, another may feel pressure to become the creative one, or the rebel, or the helper, or the baby. These roles are rarely assigned out loud. They develop quietly, over time, through comparisons and expectations. Understanding birth order helps us step into a child's inner world to see how they might be interpreting their experiences. Let's start with firstborn children. They often grow up with a strong sense of responsibility. For a time, they were the only child. They had full attention. Then suddenly, another child arrived. Many firstborns conclude, often incorrectly, that to matter, they must be capable, successful, or the best. As a result, firstborn children may appear responsible, organized, and high-achieving. They can also be perfectionistic and very sensitive to mistakes or failure. Some rush to finish tasks quickly just to be first. Others take way too long because nothing ever feels good enough. What they often need most is permission to fail and reassurance that love is not earned through performance. Now, let's talk about the youngest children. They often grow up surrounded by helpers. Parents help, older siblings help. Sometimes, everyone helps a little too much. Many youngest children learn, again, unconsciously, that being taken care of is how they belong. They may develop strong social charm, creativity, and humor, but they may also struggle with independence or responsibility. Some youngest children believe, when others take care of me, I matter. This can show up as avoiding effort, asking for help quickly, or feeling like life is unfair when things don't go their way. The goal isn't to remove warmth or support, but to intentionally give youngest children real opportunities to develop competence. Confidence grows through doing, not being rescued. And what about middle children? They often feel squeezed. They're not the first. They're not the baby. Many middle children conclude that they must stand out somehow, or they might disappear. This can lead to very different outcomes. Some become strong negotiators and peacemakers. Some become highly social and adaptable. Others may rebel or withdraw. Middle children are often deeply empathetic and fairness-oriented, especially when family dynamics feel competitive. What they often need most is to feel seen, not compared, not overlooked, not defined by their position. Of course, we have only children, too. They often share traits with firstborns, like high expectations, maturity, and independence. But unlike firstborns, they don't experience competition at home. Their pressure often comes from adult expectations. Some enjoy solitude and focus. Others feel lonely or overwhelmed by constant adult attention. Only children benefit from opportunities to collaborate, to make mistakes without intense scrutiny, and to develop peer-based problem-solving skills. Now, it's crucial to remember that there are important exceptions. Birth order is not destiny. Gender, age gaps, blended families, and your family culture all influence how birth order plays out. For instance, children spaced far apart in age may function more like only children, and blended families can completely reshuffle roles overnight. What matters most is not a child's position, but how that child experiences belonging and significance. One of the most powerful factors is the family atmosphere. In competitive families, the differences between siblings often become exaggerated, but in cooperative families, those differences soften. When parents disagree sharply on parenting styles, children may feel caught in invisible competitions, but when parents model teamwork, respect, and shared responsibility, children feel less pressure to define themselves against one another. So, how can we use this information wisely? The purpose of understanding birth order isn't to label our children, it's to ask better questions, like, how might my child be interpreting their role? Where might they feel discouraged? And how can I encourage growth without comparison? When children feel understood rather than judged, they are far more open to cooperation and change. Let me leave you with a final thought. Every child wants the same thing at their core: to belong and to feel valuable. Birth order simply offers clues about how a child might be trying to achieve that. When we stop comparing siblings, stop rescuing or pressuring, and start offering respect, responsibility, and encouragement, our children grow into capable, confident individuals, not because of their position in the family, but because they felt truly seen. Thank you for watching. I hope this perspective helps you understand your children, and maybe even yourself, a little better. If you found this helpful, please like and subscribe for more insights.